Bible Poems 3 John. This one is subheaded, A Letter is Discovered. We get the books of the Bible ready-made for us between the covers of the Bible. Imagine someone perhaps someone's not a Christian, pagan in those days maybe, coming across this letter. And like all the poems, it's intended to take us back to the letter to see what it says. 3 John. Once there were 3 men called Gaius, Demetrius, and Diotrephes. I found what seemed to be a letter which told me of them. The writer, who did not give his name, it appears they knew him as the elder, seemed to write a lot about what he called the truth. The letter was to Gaius. The writer seemed to think highly of him. What's more, he claimed to love him. He spoke of praying for him, not only for his health, but also for what he called his soul. Other people, who the writer described as brothers, what did he mean? Whose brothers? Were they Gaius or the elders? Spoke of Gaius' own truth and of his walking in this truth. And then he wrote of joy, a lovely word. I really am quite envious. Now here's a clue. It seems the writer has some children. The only thing he seems to want for them is to be walking in the truth. The same, presumably. Not much was going on so far as I can tell. Something about some travelling strangers and the welcome Gaius gave and how they spoke of his love before the church. I had to look this up. I believe it means assembly, folk called together. Now, my letter says, Gaius should send them on their journey. I know not where. The only clue is that they were travelling for the name. I can't decipher that, only a mention of being worthy of God. What God, I wonder? Oh yes, he calls them workers for the truth. What is the truth? He doesn't seem to like Diotrephes. The chief complaints seem to be that he wants first place, don't we all? Has his own ideas against those of the elder. On top of that, he's clearly slandered him. Hard to fathom the other grudges. A refusal to welcome the ones he just calls brothers once again, and something to do with excluding them and the ones like them from the church. I ask, what is it about this simple gathering that makes that seem to matter? The letter moves on now to speak of good and evil. Good is from this God. How can you live, how you live make any difference to whether you see God? And now he mentions the third named person, Demetrius. This one he approves of, as do many others, that's clear. What I cannot understand is how the truth itself can speak about him. What is this truth that speaks? There's not much more to say. The writer says he hopes to visit Gaius and talk face to face about the things he wants to say. He sends his priest, and now, oh how confusing, he sends greetings from the friends to, you'll never guess, the friends. Is this another name for brothers? I'd like some friends. especially true friends. I'm sounding like the elder. He knows the names but doesn't tell us. Could brothers be your friends? I wish we had some other letters to give us clues.